Okay, so another useful thing to do when you open InDesign again, the first time you open is just for the feel of it. So go ahead and close it and come back to the Create New button, which is right over here. I would like you to like rename this to magazine template or something, or anything of your choice, so that it's easier for you to go and you don't have to keep changing 5 on each side, so that you have this and ready to go. So go ahead and click create, and now um, you don't see a red line anymore because I haven't put the bleed, and the bleed was just to give you guys an intuition as to what happens. So whatever was inside that red line, like 5 inside the bleed, if that part would be cut off, so anything inside that will be printed. So here, here's the basic tools. So this is the tool you'll be using a lot. It's called the selection tool. It's used to move around objects and anything, literally anything on your workstation. This you will be using to resize images mostly. This is called the direction selection tool, which is where the shortcuts A. Also, it's useful to know the shortcuts. I know V. These are the shortcuts I use. V for this tool, W to like remove these. So these lines you see, these purple and pink lines, these are actually just direction lines. These won't actually be printed. So yeah, so when you hit W, all those lines get erased, so you can see the actual product when it's printed. Um, then you have the line tool. We'll be occasionally using it just to make things aesthetic, something like that. Then we have a pencil tool. Honestly, we don't use this that much either. Now we use the rectangle frame tool quite a lot. So this is used for anything you want to add over here. So inside this frame, we can add text, we can add images, and that's pretty much all of our magazine except a few of the a few shapes, which is the very next tool. So the next tool is the shape tool. Right now it's the ellipse tool, but if you right click it, you can see that it has a rectangle and a polygon. So we'll also be using the rectangle tool occasionally, like if you want to have this neat border, or just like a one side thing, you just put that there and then we'll add color to it later. So that's exactly how the shape tool works. This is a gradient swatch tool which basically fills your shape with a gradient, and I'll be showing you how to do that once we get into that, and we're actually designing a magazine. So right now I'm just showing you the basic tools and parts of of your screen on InDesign. So now I needed to learn a couple of cool shortcuts which I really use. I want you to hit F5. So F5 is actually the swatches, right? So if let's say we hide the swatches somewhere, there you go. So I hit F5 and your the swatches come back up again. There's another important shortcut which is F12. Now these are the pages, and over here I'm going to teach you what the master is and how you add more pages. So as of now, as you can see, there's just one page on this document. How do I add more pages? So you hit F12, right? You hit F12 and you see this, right? This is the page this is the page window. Now down at the page window you see this. That's the add new pages button. So you hit it once if you want to add one page, hit it twice for three, and so on. So now I've clicked it twice, so we have two new pages. Now there's another important part of the pages section which is called the master. Now in the master, so this is the two-page master I'm showing you right now, and we're going to be using two pages throughout the magazine except for the first page. So this anything you want to make master, you use this, you use the two-page master. What do I mean by making master? Well, this is what a master page is. Now if you add anything on this master page selected. So to know if you're on the master page, you just look at this, right? So right now you're on the master page. If you want to get out of the master page and onto your actual pages, the magazine you're designing, you click that. So right now you're out, and you want to select the master page back in, because I want to show you what it does. So let's say I add a line, something like this, and yeah, so let's say I just add that. Now what the master page does is that it adds this line to every other page on your magazine. So I've stepped out of the master page, as you can see over here, and now let's say I add two more new pages. Now you see that this line on page 4, we're on page 4, is also seen on page 2, right? So that's because we've added a line to the master. So that's what the master page does. Anything you do here will be replicated throughout the magazine. And this is excellent if you want to add one standard, a rectangle or a line to each and every page of your magazine. You go to the master and then you select whatever you want to add to the magazine. So let's say I want to add a line. So now I select the line tool and I add a line. There we go. And now this line is on each and every page of our magazine. Okay, so another very important thing I want you all to do, I want you to go to master and select both pages. Now, to select both pages, like, okay, so here is the cursor. I need you to hold the control key and select the other unselected page. Now, once you've done that, I want you to click layout and hit margin and columns. Now, all you have to do is increase the number of columns to 2, and then you hit OK. Now what happens is, as you see, there are basically two columns on your page. Now this is useful because when you're creating text, when you're adding text to your article on InDesign, you see that there are usually two columns. Like you see text flowing down here, and then you add text, like the continuation text on the other column. So this is a very standard nice tool to have, so that you have reference lines, and if you keep your text right within these columns, they will stay fine, and they will look very linear, and that's exactly what you want in a magazine.